Hi, everybody. I am here in Brazil. It's been a crazy week watching my home in Los Angeles, like the city I've called my home for almost a decade, go up in flames in so many neighborhoods. And I've had such a heavy heart this week hearing from friends, that they've lost their houses, just hearing the collective trauma and anxiety that's going on in LA right now. And so I wanted to have this special Powerful Stuff episode to really process how we can help come together as a community even better. And I have my friend Maddie Stites who's about to join. She actually lost her home in 2021. I was inspired because she had some really great tips that she wrote this week about how to support people when they have lost their home in a fire, because she went through it a few years ago. So Maddie is going to join me. She's going to share her story, some quick tips about this. It'll be a brief episode, maybe 15 minutes, and we'll end with a 3 or 4 minute grounding meditation, so you can simply feel your feels and kind of have a moment to pause and to process what's going on. So I'll have Maddie request to join, and then we can make it happen. And so as we're kind of going through this, I know when I first read Maddie's thing, the thing that stuck out to me, she said, is act over ask. When people are going through a tragedy like this, or they do have so much overwhelm already, it can be overwhelming or daunting to kind of, if you're like, how can I help, to kind of think of things that you can do to help, versus acting, like she said, of sending them an Uber Eats gift card, or getting a and here Maddie is now. This will also turn into a Powerful Stuff episode, so you can re-listen to this, you can share it with your friends, and I'm excited to hear straight from Maddie how we can support. Hi, Maddie.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for being here. And I was just kind of saying in that IG live, as soon as I saw your post um, earlier this week of what you can do, because I think, when something this tragic or traumatic happens, you can be at a loss for words and want people to know that you're there for them, but you don't want to say the wrong thing and you don't want to overwhelm them. And so I thought your post was spot on. And I definitely remember, when that happened to you in 2021, when we were at our other friend's house and we're like, oh my gosh, there's a fire in that house.
Oh yeah, you
And
saw
it happened.
that.
Yeah, it happened to be your house, and I couldn't imagine the devastation you went through there. So I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I do want to preface too, this is just my experience. I know that a lot of people are having conflicting experiences right now. I was not a homeowner, I was renting, and mine was obviously not this giant wildfire and evacuation. It was arson next door that this happened with, and a lot of my loss was actually not due to perished belongings, but chemical residue in soot and ash. So I actually want to talk about that as well. But I know we only have about 15 minutes, and I know you're talking about the act over ask, so I can just hop right into a few of those points.
Yeah.
Um, when and even now, as someone that is not being completely displaced and super affected by it, I am affected. As you can see, I've been doing some prep here in Venice, a la Burning Man style, and taping up my windows. But the inundation of asking, how can I help? It's actually putting a task on these people's list. You're adding to their to-dos, you're adding to their thoughts. And it's much better to know of a specific thing that you can offer and reach out instead of asking them to reach out to you when they're ready. You also don't have to jump to help right now. Look up the American Red Cross. There's so much on Instagram right now of where to donate, how to volunteer, what's actually needed. And being out on the streets and just showing up isn't necessarily the best thing. Rushing is not best.
Mhm.
This is going to be a long haul, and It's amazing, and the overwhelming support I feel like is emotionally really, really um, one of the best things of having everyone kind of rally initially, but this is going to go on for weeks and months, and the drop off we don't want necessarily people to experience either. Like people are still going to need meals a month from now, so rushing is just not always best. It can actually add to a little bit of the chaos and overwhelm some of these volunteer facilities. We don't want to cause more chaos and overwhelm. I know that everyone just wants to help. So hopefully some of these tips lead to actually beneficial help and action versus um, leading to more chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And thanks also at the beginning for kind of sharing the disclaimer. Like you said, it's such a unique experience for each person going
Yeah.
through it. And yeah, obviously, like speaking from your own experience with the kind of rushing versus kind of thinking through, can you help people think through like the kind of questions they should be asking themselves if they maybe do have a friend or someone they know who is affected that they want to help, but like you said, you don't want to overwhelm them necessarily either?
Yeah. The first would be, is someone kind of acting for them? Do they already have a best friend that they're staying with or a family member out of town that is getting those active updates? It's really, really amazing to have someone kind of being the messenger on behalf of the victim. That I would say try and either be that person or find out who that best person is first that you can direct information to and have a compilation of information or a personal spreadsheet where they're creating the GoFundMe link. That is a big factor in the overwhelm, as well as, oh gosh, I just have so many thoughts.
Yeah.
Um, it is really good to figure out like what their actual needs are and where they're staying. So like for instance, for me, I had to bop around for a couple weeks. I slept at one person's place for a few days, then someone else for 2 weeks, and someone else for a week. And I didn't necessarily need pantry goods. And I think a lot of people right now are in those situations. Canned food and other things that you think and everyone wants to jump to donate of like non-perishable items and lists that you're used to seeing in catastrophes. These people are moving from place to place and they might not even have bags to carry those
Yeah.
belongings. So I would really, really recommend that don't think about just the things. Ask the questions of, do they have a stove and an oven to cook in? Is it a comfortable environment for them? Do they have sheets on the bed? Do they have an ability to do laundry? Or are additional clean clothes needed? Something that I feel called to share too is one of the most devastating things for me was while I was getting all these donations of clothes, no one's donating their used underwear. No one's thinking of going out and buying a new pack of underwear when they're donating other clothes, and the same goes for socks and
Yeah.
shoes. But really think through what they already have or try and even get from that person that they're communicating with that list of what the individual actually needs, because there's already, I've been seeing from volunteer and donation centers, way too many of the 3-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, body washes, and the dollar store toothbrushes and toothpastes. Um, you want to be donating things that they're actually going to use and aren't just easy donation items. Like figure out what their face wash is or what their favorite body wash is, because those are the things that they really want to be replaced, and it'll kind of add to the discomfort to feel when you're receiving handouts. And I know it's especially for some of these populations, it is a very vulnerable place to be the GoFundMe kid and be the receiver of all of this, or to go to a donation center and need everything.
Yeah.
So adding to the comfort as much as possible and the familiarity of some of these belongings is also really huge. So yeah, asking and trying to think of yourself, what would you use if you're donating to a victim that's also a 30-year-old young female? Like if you were in those shoes, what would you want to receive? And just take your time, calm down, and like ask yourself those questions and do as much research as possible just before acting.
Totally. Yeah, 1,000%. And I think it was on your TikTok that I watched as well, where you're like, yeah, not having like actual luggage, having to carry things around in bags. And then you're like, what do I do with canned food? Because I don't
Yeah.
even have like a kitchen. And so, yeah, those are all really helpful. And I think it was also on your post that you mentioned like yeah, right when you got on the live, I was referencing your post where you were like, just get people like an Uber Eats gift card or something if
Yeah.
there's somebody that you know, because yeah, like you said, it can create more work for someone to have to like tell you what they need if they want to like do something nice for
Exactly.
you immediately or like donate to a GoFundMe or Venmo you. So I think you mentioned in the post like people can pick out what they actually want.
Yes, and that same is with firefighters right now. I know that there's been, I think every fire department has too much dry goods and like canned food or pre-made sandwiches that will go to waste or that is harder to distribute. When it's things in boxes like that as well, then you're asking for even more volunteer need and more resources needed to distribute these canned goods or these boxes of items. When gift cards to grocery stores, to Uber Eats, to their favorite restaurants, to local places that are doing donations. That is going to go so far. And that's something that people can do that aren't here in LA right now. If you're back home in whatever other state or if you're in a different country, everyone can do Uber Eats. And I know that even other friends that have had past traumatic events and hospitalizations or the hot food and delivery of food is one of the best things that you can do. And if you can't do that, or if you want to be more personable, or if you are here in LA, I would also say have them over for a home cooked meal.
Yeah.
That's one of the most comforting things that happened in the first month after my fire is being able to go to different friends' houses and feel like I was safe and feel like I was held and taken care of. And I didn't have to worry about cooking. I didn't have to worry about cleanup. That went further than so much else. So I my other point in the post too was that deep kindness, the loving presence, the just watching a movie together or offering them your cozy bath and lighting candles will go so much farther than you realize because these people are processing trauma. There's a collective shock going on in LA. I think a lot of emotions are coming up. I know I keep going in and out of all of these different emotions and just giving them room to actually process them without judgment. And no matter what comes up, I think is one of the best things and most needed things right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I love what you said of just like creating a safe space for them to like feel at home or to maybe even if they need a welcome distraction with a close friend and don't want to talk about it at all, but you create like a experience where they can relax or take their mind off of it.
Yeah,
And like you said earlier in the live, like, everyone's really fired up right now, but I think like to your point, it's making sure that we don't, wear ourselves out and we have the endurance to keep checking in because whoever is directly impacted by the fire is going to be dealing with this, like you said, for weeks, months, if not like years. And so kind of remembering to check in and to offer these things long after it's like, the immediate urgency of it.
exactly. And I would also recommend for those that know a specific victim, and I mean, there's so many, that those are huge helpful things that you can do from afar right now. You can put together, I know that there's apps and other services for meal chains and food deliveries that everyone can sign up for different meals for your friend. You can sign up for nights to host them. But long-term planning and even short and long-term planning right now on behalf of other people will go really far, and it's something that you can do from the comfort of your home.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that, I know you have another call to get on at one, but just a few quick questions, and then I'll let you hop off, and I'll lead the meditation, so we can honor the amazing time you've given us. What are a few of the things that people can say to their friends when they're just hearing like the news that someone lost their home? Like what, because I think a lot of, people can overthink saying the wrong thing. And of course it's better to, let people know you're there than not. What were some of the most comforting messages that you received when that happened to you?
Um, Validation, any sort of validation that you can give them for whatever emotion it is that they're giving through, that this like I recognize that you're going through a lot, and you can say, I don't want to say the wrong thing, I don't want to overwhelm you right now, I'm here, like I love you and I'm ready to go. I think also something to not say is what's
Yeah.
really important, and that is the well, at least you didn't, at least it was just physical things. At least it was just this, or at least you're safe. Let them say that. That comes a lot more when it's coming from the person and they're actually in that state of gratitude. People are losing so much more than material items. I mean, losing every journal, an entire book collection, family jewelry, all of your clothes. Like it is it is true devastation. And I think recognizing that and just allowing space for them to emote no matter what it is and asking, how are you feeling? Are you angry? Are you confused? Are you sad? Like, don't just assume what their emotions are, I think is really big. And just saying that you love them, reminding them that you love them, reminding them that you live down the street, or reminding them of what you can offer. Again, instead of asking. So, hey, I'm here for childcare services whenever you need it. Hey, I'm here and I'm ready to help you sort through your debris. Specific offerings too, even if you don't know like how and why it's gonna happen,
Yeah.
being specific for them to where they don't even have to think of the list that's gonna be made and be like, okay, Meredith said that she would help me go through the rubble. That's who I'm gonna reach out to when that's time. And then a thing that I want to share, I don't know if anyone that is a victim will be listening to this or watching it, but it sounds so silly and it's highlighted on my page actually under joy. But the thing that helped me the most was finding one thing every single day to be grateful for in the midst of all of this. And everyone, it's on the news, it's helicopters are around, it's all that you can really think about.
Yeah.
And just giving them time or asking them one thing that they're grateful for, or trying to figure out one grateful item that you found or that you own now, it will go further than I think a lot of people realize. So just ask them what they're grateful for today.
Mm,
Yeah.
I love those suggestions so much. Firstly, yeah, of like holding space for people's feelings and just like yeah, like you said, not assuming, just asking them how they're feeling and then not being the one to say to try to find the silver lining for them,
Yeah.
letting
Let
that come
them
from
find the
them.
silver lining. You don't, that's not your job.
Yeah, it's not your job. Just hold the space and like
Yeah.
offer, like intuit, try to intuit the needs where you can and preemptively offer that. And then I love what you said of, for people who are going through it, something that really helped you with the gratitude. So, is there any other tips that we didn't touch on that you want to say before you hop off, or do you feel like we
Um,
covered everything?
I would say the thing that I'm dealing with right now is someone that hasn't evacuated. Venice has been in this beautiful little bubble, and I know a lot of people have evacuated to friends' homes in Venice.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to share, and I don't know the stats on what's in the air right now and what is the soot, but due to my experience of it being a chemical fire, and I lost most of my belongings, not because they burned, but because they were covered in soot and ash or like water from the firefighters coming in, and it chemically was unsafe to keep. So, what you can do, if anyone's been to Burning Man, or if you want to Google online how to Burning Man prep, I would highly recommend taping your windows with blue tape or any cracks and doors that you're going to keep closed. That'll really help any physical particles not get in, and your air purifier that is inside will work a lot better. And then any belongings that you love. So like I have plastic over my bed right now, just in case I do leave too, and so where I'm not worried about it. Or all my favorite belongings I've put in garbage bags and airtight containers or Ziplocs, just so I know that soot is not going to get to it. Just protect your things that way and stay safe out there. I know I have to hop, but it's going to be a beautiful meditation. And just thank you for this space to share my experience, because I'm kind of in the same boat as so many others that I just want to help in whatever way I can. So, yeah, thank you, Mayor, and thank you, everybody, for giving LA love right now, because it's really gnarly.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much, Maddie. This was super helpful for me and hopefully for other people too. And I'm going to put this on the Powerful Stuff podcast after the live. So thank you. Have a great next call and sending you so much love.
Thank you. You too.
And so for those of you who are staying with us, we're going to go into a meditation right now to really just have a safe space to process whatever you're feeling. I know from what I've heard, and even just feeling it in Brazil, a lot of people, yeah, could be feeling any type of emotion. They're all welcome here. This is really just to help ground and recenter and give yourself full permission for, whatever you need to feel right now, with all the fires going on. So if you want to go ahead and find a comfortable seat, we'll just take a few minutes, or a few moments rather, before the meditation, to just roll out your head, shrug your shoulders in a circular motion, and then reverse them the other way. Just relax your jaw. Go ahead and take a breath in for a count of 4 through your nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale everything out of your mouth for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top. We're going to go into a box breathing to slow down our nervous system. And exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. And then return to your natural, slow breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now that we've had a few brief rounds of box breathing to just slow down, to arrive in the present moment. I'm just starting to feel the awareness of your body in this room. Starting to first notice from the outside in, just noticing any tension in your physical body. Maybe it's a tightness in your chest or your stomach or your throat, wherever it is. Just start to breathe awareness to it. Nice slow breaths, like you're holding this part of your body with so much compassion and tenderness. And it's almost like each breath is massaging out the tension of this part of your body, letting it unravel fully, letting it express fully. And almost like you're getting to excavate deeper to a root behind the physical tension that you're starting to unravel. Noticing the emotion that's behind it. Maybe there's a word you have to label this emotion, or maybe it feels like a blend of a few emotions. Noticing how it feels beyond the tension from the physical. And that level or layer deeper. And as you notice the tension or the label that you kind of labeled this emotion, asking this emotion what it needs to feel fully expressed in this moment. Maybe if you've been holding it in or you haven't given it a chance to process, just asking the emotion what it needs to feel fully expressed. And almost like the emotion is personified, imagine that you have a magic wand. And as you tell yourself in this moment, I'm safe to feel this emotion, imagine the magic wand tapping the emotion, giving it full permission without shame, without hurriedness, to be felt fully. Knowing that you're safe in this moment to feel it fully, letting the emotion get unstuck and completely rise to the surface so you can fully allow it to express itself. Maybe that involves needing to cry. Maybe that involves needing to let out a sigh or a scream into a pillow. Maybe that involves punching the air. Maybe that involves needing to laugh for the first time today. What does this emotion need in this moment to feel fully expressed? And as you allow yourself to feel this emotion, and as you continue to remind yourself or reminding your inner self you're safe to feel it, letting that start to deepen your breath. As you start to feel the emotion, can you start to create more and more space to breathe? Feeling the expansion of your breath symbolize the new space that you've created from allowing yourself to feel. And as you've allowed yourself to feel, and as you're continuing to allow yourself to feel, now imagine behind this emotion, behind that tension, in your mind's eye, seeing your inner child who's been going through this whole week, the ups, the downs, the collective energy, the fear, the loss, the chaos, that your inner child has been going through this whole thing with you. And just in your mind's eye, looking at them, noticing their facial expression, how they are today. And asking them how they feel. Letting them speak. Just listening. Validating their feelings, letting them know that makes sense. And then asking them, what do they need from you in this moment? What do they need from you to be able to just breathe a little bit deeper, to be able to relax a little bit more? What does your inner child need from you? Letting them know that regardless of what has happened or is happening, or what lays in store, that you're not going anywhere, that you love them unconditionally, that you're here with them, going through it together no matter what. And as you give them a hug, giving yourself a hug, giving yourself this loving warmth, doing it for a few breaths until you feel a little sliver of relaxation or a little sliver of temporary relief, however brief. And as you breathe into that, on the other side of this feeling, of this allowance, of this permission to feel, bringing your awareness to your heart space. And as you send the love to your inner child, bringing someone else's face to mind this week who you felt the love from them. And imagine receiving love from them. Imagine that. Grow the light around your heart space even more. And as you grow the light around your heart space even more, imagine sending this love out to someone else who you feel might need it this week. And imagine them receiving the love. And as you imagine them receiving the love and it touching their heart, imagine that coming back to you. Imagine you receiving it, making your heart even brighter. Maybe sending it out a few more times in this boomerang, feeling it come in from someone you felt the love from this week. someone who contacted you directly, kindness from a stranger, just feeling it maybe from posts or things you've seen of the efforts of first responders. Maybe now sending it out to somebody who you don't know, but who you're grateful for in this time. Whether it is a first responder, a volunteer, a stranger on the street, until you feel this ripple of love start to strengthen your heart, creating this safe space filled with this warm, bright light, a sanctuary that you can always come back to internally. And then placing both hands on your heart, thanking yourself for showing up during this time, to ground yourself, to find this calm. Know that you can always come back to this place whenever you need. Reminding yourself once more that you've got you. Reminding your inner child that you've got them. Once again, feeling all the love coming in and all the love that you're surrounded by and that you have to give. Feeling that once again create this warmth, and then feeling that warmth, imagining it touch everyone affected by the fires, imagining it touch everyone helping, whether it's a volunteer or first responder. Imagine it cloaking LA in this light of love and healing into this next chapter. Taking a deep breath of that in, and exhale, let it go. And then another deep breath in. And exhale to open your eyes, softly coming back into this space. Just being gentle with yourself on the other side of this processing. Maybe the meditation showed you something that you want to do to take care of yourself today. Maybe you had a message from your inner child to, have a solitary moment where you let out more of a cry, or to, go for a walk by yourself and leave your phone. Whatever it might be gentle with yourself. Take the time that you need. And thank you all for being here during this live and this powerful stuff episode with me. Thank you to Maddie Stites for coming on and sharing her experience, doing, the things that we can for the people that are affected by the fires, and giving us some tips on how we can help. It's so, in times like this, it can feel, I felt like being afar in Brazil, like helpless. What can I do? But as Maddie shared, there's so many ways that we can let people know that we're here just to hold space no matter what. Like she said, sending them gift cards so they can have immediate, relief to start to restock their belongings, or to buy a nice meal for their family. And yeah, like Maddie also said, how she was able to, during the darkest of times after it happened for her, kind of something that helped her, finding that one thing that she was grateful for each day. So hopefully this episode was helpful to whoever needed to hear it today. And just so everyone else knows, as a resource, I am offering a complimentary healing session, whether it's meditation, breathwork, coaching, whatever anyone needs who is affected by the fires. If you were displaced by the fires, I'll have a link, or you can contact me directly to book a session. And I also put an anxiety breathwork, immediate anxiety relief breathwork for powerful stuff to help people from afar. There's a few organizations that I like, that I've donated to, who are doing relief efforts. Moss, Conscious Co-working Space, has been a hub for volunteer efforts in organizing relief packs for people. So I'll put information about these things, and then Sunday evening I'm hosting a meditation and kind of processing circle for anyone who wants to go a little bit deeper. You can join us Sunday night. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will be having everyone in LA in my prayers, and my thoughts. And we will all get through this as a community.